All right, welcome back to another monthly movie Monday. Uh, we recorded on a
Weirdly
Monday.
enough, that yeah, it's not the movie we're not watching on a Monday. Well, I guess we could have. I couldn't because I
I
had work.
did,
But
but we're
oh,
also
okay,
not. The review is not coming out on a Monday necessarily, so
right,
it
right.
doesn't really work. But it's monthly movie night, kind of what we're calling it, and that's where we're alternating picking a movie for us to watch each month. You know, so it's usually basically it's any movie goes as long as you can buy it um, $5 or less on streaming, or if it's just
Rent it, yeah.
available in general. Yeah,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
yeah, so anything goes as long as we haven't reviewed it on the channel. You know, so I had seen this movie before about a couple years ago. My girlfriend got me to watch it, and so here we are.
Mhm.
This Star is Born. It's
All
one I've
right,
been wanting to review just because movie musicals in general. There's a bunch I want to check off, and like that was always kind
yeah,
of top of mind.
right,
But we'll always start
right.
our reviews with a gut check, which is our score out of 10 coming into the review. Then we'll talk about it and lock in the score at the end. All right? Let's see. Three, two, one, flip. 8.
8.
A synergy
That's
moment.
a synergy moment. um,
So, yeah, tell me your thoughts
the
first.
I really enjoyed it quite a lot. I knew I knew going into it that it was like I guess that it was a movie musical, but I guess I didn't like maybe I didn't really like think about it overly much, and then it's like the movie opens up and it's a great performance. Like already starting out, I'm like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in for a really good time. I can already tell. It's like there's already some vibes of like some stuff that's like really under the boil here. He's drunk. He's mixing it with
Mm-hmm.
alcohol or with drugs. There's a lot going on here already, but man, he really can sing and perform, and this is I'm in. Like I want to see where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what's fascinating to me is that this movie's been made like 4 times. This is like the
Yeah.
fourth version of this movie. Um, and it like it kind of like knowing that it was sort of like curious as to like why is that, and seeing it seeing it again because like I think my understanding is that most versions of the film kind of really do follow more or less the same plot beats, like kind of to the like maybe not like exactly in order, but pretty much the same kind of premise of down on his luck artist finds underground person. They have a they have an amazing rise to fame. There's a fall from grace, and then there's a tragedy at the towards the end of the film. I think that all of them have that pretty much the same structure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it's timeless. Like it kind of has a timeless sort of quality to it. Like it feels very much like a like because it's kind of a rags to riches tale, but and then it's also like and then it is also like the fall from grace story. Like those intermingling is just makes for a really interesting like tension throughout the course of the film, and I think that maybe is what leads it to being a story that's like worth retelling in a different way. But wow, performances in this movie are all amazing. Every acting performance is great. Um, this movie also made me think like, wow, I don't like maybe are music industry managers the worst people? Are they the worst people in
Yeah,
the
what's
world?
Lady Gaga trying to say with this movie, you think?
Yeah,
What's she
yeah. What
saying?
is? She's amazing. She's fantastic in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I can't believe this actually is kind of wonderful that I saw this after seeing Joker Folia do, which
It's,
is
yeah.
really bad, and then I see this and I'm like, wow, she's great. she's she's actually kind of a pretty good actress, all
Mm-hmm.
things considered, because she's just she's a pop star, but like she's pretty good. She's very
Yeah.
like it's very naturalistic, and I think that's kind of what makes it work. 'Cause it feels very real in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it overall. And yeah, I got choked up a couple of times during it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very
So,
good, very good good movie.
Yeah, so tell me if you agree or not. To me, this movie is like the majority of the movie is like a 7.5, and the
Hmm.
end is like a 9.5 for me. Like legitimately, this is the movie I had the biggest emotional reaction to of like maybe any movie I've ever seen. Like
Really
even watching it
interesting.
again, I was just full on sobbing. I was like a mess. It was crazy.
The
No movie gets me like
I
that.
I I think the yeah I because it's interesting because like I I didn't, and I was a little surprised by that because I'm like, this is until it wasn't like that until like it cut, like her last performance cuts to them performing together. I was like, I was
Mm,
a wreck. I
yeah,
was like, no,
that's good. That was a
that
good
was
cut.
like that got me really hard. I was like, okay, yeah,
But
that's good. You got me
the thing is, I
there.
don't know if it like this movie in particular, if it's something about like me being in a relationship when I watched it, and that
Hmm.
may have a lot to do with it, you know, because I don't know. It's just like an emotional reaction to the dynamic, and obviously how it ends
Mm,
up. And then
right.
I was just sobbing. It's
Yeah.
crazy, and I don't know what point I stopped crying about the movie and was just crying. It was just like
Yeah.
way too much.
It's,
Like
yeah.
I don't
It's
really. It's not easy to get me to react that way. So,
yeah.
whereas like I think some of the pacing throughout the movie is not the strongest. It's like
It
or just do a thing over here, do
yeah.
a thing over there. Some things are happening, and
It's
then you tease a little bit, but then the end, it's like I can't deny this. Like again, I think the feeling something from a movie is the biggest thing for me. Like this is my most
mm,
memorable movie experiences. So that's like an all timer for me. And
mm.
but I think it just kind of caps out at an 8 for me. I think that's probably where I'll end up with it. But
Yeah, I think because I think my it's interesting because the ending is there's moments in the film that feel maybe almost like too overwrought or over the top. Like the thing like the Grammys event. I'm
hmm.
just like I I was just kind of like I was just sort of like come on. Like it's like so over the top extreme that I'm like did
Yeah,
we really like it's so cringe.
I like
It's
how we
so
even
like
let this
embarrassing
happen.
and horrible and I'm like
No one could
yeah, I was like
babysit him a little bit, but
no one came up on stage and like dragged him off or anything. Like that in and of itself would have been embarrassing enough, but it's
yeah,
like no, he's just standing there
I
mumbling
love,
drunkenly until he like
but I do love when it's the shot is on her and he's like, "Well, did you win?" You just hear him in the
yeah, yeah.
background.
You just
Did
hear
you win or what?
yeah, you win or what? Yeah.
In his deep ass voice.
Yeah.
Do you win?
Yeah, also, yeah, Bradley Cooper given his Sam Elliott impression,
Right
which
in
is
front of
funny
him.
because like yeah, it was funny because it was like I heard that voice and I was like, wow, he's really doing quite the country voice. It's
No.
like it's almost kind of like, oh, there he is. There's Sam Elliott. He's in the movie.
Yeah.
um,
The dude. I always remember him from
yeah.
from Big Lebowski. But I mean,
Mm.
I was just gonna say this. I remember my thought. It was this is back to back Bradley Cooper movie nights. He was in Dungeons and Dragons also. So
Oh
technically,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, he wasn't a starring role in that one, but that is kind of funny that he was in
hmm.
that. Yeah. Um. Sorry, now I'm just imagining him. I'm just remembering him at Dragons now, and that's very funny. Um. The yeah. So the ending had the opportunity had like the chance to maybe feel sort of like overwrought or like over the top like that, but it was a lot more like it was a lot more restrained, and I think that's kind of what helps it retain like that powerful emotion
Yeah,
kind of at the end there.
I love that final
So
performance. You know, it's
oh,
really
it's
a
amazing.
beautiful scene,
Yeah.
and like you said, like it cuts away to clips and stuff, and that's a nice thing. But
Mm,
then when they cut away to him
hmm.
singing it too, it's like,
Oh,
eh,
it's so
it's a
that's so
nice
beautiful.
touch.
Yeah.
And then the movie just ends. It's like you know we're not gonna make
Yeah.
you feel
It
better
just
at
ends
the
like
end. There's
that.
nothing to coddle you
Yeah.
after this. It's just that's
Yeah.
it. Just tragedy. Who knows how her life goes from there? It's just
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Some great performances, some great songs in here. I do love the
Yeah.
overly like like bad like generic
The
pop
awful,
thing. Like, why
yeah,
did you
the
do
awful
that?
pop
Do that?
punk.
Do that? Do that? Do that to
Yeah,
me?
it's so great. It's so great. I was like, yeah, this is trash. This
Yeah,
is
I
really
love it.
bad.
Like, why'd you come
It's
around me with an ass like that?
that, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yay, slop.
Grammy, Grammy,
Yay.
Grammy. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I noticed
that was fun.
is they,
Hmm.
and I don't, I'm assuming it's intentional. Not, I don't really like it in retrospect, but it cuts from him like having just clearly taken his own life at the end, and it cuts
Yeah.
to the end of her performance, and she's just like, "Why did you do that?" And that's it. And that it's like she's asking, "Why did you do that?" But it's like it's like right after he did it. Why did you
Yeah.
do that? And it was the end of the performance. I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of. I think it's kind of very apparent why he did that. There's the whole movie's kind of built up to that in a lot of ways.
It's just so
Um,
tragic because it's like it's a really
yeah,
great story of a tragedy because it just feels real, and that's why it
yeah.
like hits to me. It's
Especially because he's legitimately on the mend. Like he's really kind of trying to turn his life around and trying to be better for her. And it's not. It's like not even he even like he even accepts that it's not even really about him anymore. It's like it's all about he's getting better for her basically.
yeah,
And
and that damn
because like his
manager, you know.
yeah, the manager comes in and is like, well, you play clean up, and all I care about is money, 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 and you ruining that for me is basically what it comes across as.
Yeah, so it's the
You're
one-two
gonna
punch of that,
relapse.
and then
Yeah,
you have Allie going to him and lying
yeah,
about the reason she's canceling the tour, and he's like, "Oh, I know
right,
she's covering up just to make me feel better." So that's
right.
really it's sad.
Yeah, no, his performance is amazing, and he played double duty because he directed this
That's right.
movie too.
Yeah,
So, and yeah, I mean, I think he did a great job. I really liked I liked how a lot of the performances were shot. It's something that was like a lot of focus on them in particular, just like really really close in on the performers. Um,
hmm
and I really liked that a lot. I thought it worked super well for the film in general because there's not like tons of wide photography. You usually maybe expect that when it comes to like concert performances, and sometimes they add those in, but it's mainly focused on whoever is doing the performing. And I really like that a lot.
yeah. And the
So
main appeal of the movie and what drives it is their chemistry together, and
oh
you get so many
oh
great scenes with them. There's like these nice intimate
unbelievable.
scenes. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the heart of it.
Yeah, I was sold on the relationship basically from when he was in the dressing room with her. I was just like, they wow,
And
this is a
they're just
natural together.
they're
It's just like
seasoning you up this whole movie for the devastation at the
yeah,
end. You know, it's just like look
basically
at how
yeah.
wholesome this is. Look how even through the
Mm,
struggle, it's like look how much they still persevere and still love each other. You know,
hmm
it's like and they stab you in the back at the end. It was nice. It was nice how like the meeting, how they met first. You know, like, is this a
yeah,
drag bar or
yeah. He's like,
what is this?
yeah,
Is
man.
it a drag
I
bar?
love Anthony. So Anthony Ramos,
Yeah,
is the
Usnavi.
is in this. It was Navi. There he is. Um, this is fresh off Hamilton, probably for him, because he was on the OBC of that.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and then he's like her best friend basically, and I love that. He's like he's like, yeah, we serve alcohol, but I don't think this is your.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think this is your kind of scene, And it's just like he walks in, and it's like, oh, it's a drag bar,
Yeah.
or it's at least a drag night. I think he said like,
Drag
oh, they
Night.
do
Yeah,
this
yeah.
like, yeah, drag night at the bar. So and it was just like it was awesome. I mean, that whole
Yeah.
scene was fantastic. I was just
Yeah. I mean, it's refreshing
yeah,
to see this like this country singer just be like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm down,
He
whatever.
was like,
He's like
whatever.
genuinely curious about stuff, you know,
Yeah,
and he's curious about her. You know, he's asking questions, cares about her, and
yeah.
big on her nose. He loves her nose.
Loves her nose.
He'll never forget.
He'd never forget her
It's funny
nose.
how often it comes up because obviously it's the whole thing
Yeah.
is like it's the thing that she was insecure about, that people often
Mhm.
criticized about her. So it's like him latching onto that and seeing how much he loves it. But then it's like it
Yeah.
comes up multiple times in the movie. It's like, oh, they should have made a whole fucking billboard your nose. That would have been
Yeah.
good. It's like, yeah,
That
he
would have been
loves that
good.
nose.
He really loves that nose. Yeah. Yeah. I liked the I did like a lot of the sort of like the back and forth, and it's sort of like the understated battle that she had with her manager, where it's like she fought and fought, but in the end, he kind of won in a few ways. She didn't go platinum blonde, but she did like change her hair like completely um, from what it was. Even though she said she wanted it the way she is, because she wanted to be authentic. But it's like they still changed that, and she still did like eventually assent to having dancers and um, you know, and then I think my favorite juxtaposition of the which I actually found like wryly amusing was the you still have you've something fucking important to say, you got to make sure you say that, and then immediately is like that song that she's practicing, and it's like the worst trash you've ever heard. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, that's great. um
Yeah. You're fucking ugly. Yeah. What did he say?
Yeah, it is like you're ugly. I was like, whoa, that's crossing the line there, buddy.
It was nice. I mean, it was like he had
it was very real,
believable
super
conflict.
real. Yeah,
Yeah, but it just ultimately is so endearing, and it's like even when you know the end result too, it's like it really
mm,
it's like the whole thing is even more tragic watching it. Every sweet moment, knowing how it ends up. Like, damn.
yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think
It's
of the mega hit that came out of this movie, "Shallow"? That
Shell
song.
is great,
Yeah.
great song. I think it's amazing because that's kind of the big hit, because it's not like a huge showstopper. Like I don't think of it as like the biggest, most amazing showstopper ever. It's
Hmm.
kind of an understated song, and I think that's kind of why it's magical in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a great song.
Yeah, I always
Um,
loved it before I even watched this movie. I
yeah,
heard it and I loved it. So
I feel like it's interesting because I had heard that song before, but I feel like the song I'd heard more was actually one of the um what's his character's name again? Bradley Cooper's. It's,
Jackson, was it
Jackson
Jackson Maine?
Jackson Maine. That's it.
That's a
It's
country
the
ass name.
is yeah. Bow, ba da da down, ba da 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 down, that's actually like Bradley Cooper singing,
Yeah.
which is amazing. By the way, I was like, you could have said that was somebody else entirely, and I would have believed you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember that what the name of that song is, but I'd heard that before in like just like I think just out and about. And I was like, because it's great guitar riffs in a lot of his music. Like
Yeah.
so like yeah, Jackson Maine is very much like he's country, but it's like country rock and roll. It's sort of like it's
Yeah.
almost like a throwback to like, it feels like kind of Leonard Skinnerd in a lot of ways, where it's got that like, it's definitely it's country, but with the rock,
Yeah.
heavy rock influence and everything. Um,
And he's got
the
the
Roy
country look
Orbison,
to him.
no, big time, yeah. The beard, and it's just general
Beard and the
affect, and like
hat.
the way he's kind of hunched, and yeah,
Yeah. Give me that
that's
fucking beer. Yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, and then then Andrew Dice Clay is just like randomly in this movie also as Lady Gaga's
Wait, I
dad.
didn't even know that's who it was until it just clicked when you
Yeah,
said that.
yeah, isn't
That's so
isn't
weird.
that wild? Isn't that weird?
Wow.
I was like, yeah. So I thought that was also kind of funny. Like I was just like, oh, okay.
Big
He
crooner
plays kind
guy
of a
loves
fun character
Sinatra.
too. Yeah, yeah. He's kind of a fun character too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Dave Chappelle.
Yes. Yeah. Dave
Who,
Chappelle jump scare. What do you like? Just
yeah,
cut. Whoa, Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle's in this movie all of a sudden. I was like, it'd be really funny if this is just Dave Chappelle playing himself. I was like, that would have been kind of funny because it's just like Dave Chappelle. Because Alec Baldwin's already in the movie. Might as well.
That's
Like,
right.
yeah, it's just Dave Chappelle's here now.
Alec Baldwin really gave it his all for that one line.
Yeah.
Here's Allie. No,
Yeah.
that was Alec Baldwin.
Performance tonight. I was like, wow, that's it. I was like, normally don't they lead in a little bit more than that with
That's
SNL?
what, yeah, so I was thinking too, but maybe they just cut in where he did that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, and go. And here's tonight's performer, Allie. All right.
Yeah, it's like, whoa. It's like, okay, we're really rolling right into it. Yeah.
Don't shoot anybody. All right.
That was actually because I watched it with one of my housemates and he was just like, oh, he's just like Alec Baldwin shows up and I was like, oh, that's unfortunate. And I was like, well, this is before that, so he, you know,
yeah.
But
Dave Chappelle, yeah, Dave Chappelle's just like one of his buds, you know, and just
it's just like an old friend.
They do the impromptu wedding,
which is wholesome and romantic for like a shotgun sort of like eloping, basically. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
this is sweet. So, yeah, you really buy their relationship, I think, from the get go, and yeah, the chemistry is super electric. Throughout the whole movie,
she punches that dude who just. It was a bit much, right? Isn't that a bit of an overreaction?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe a little bit, but he was kind of being a weirdo.
But she stood on business, yeah. But she was about to flip out on the cashier too.
Yeah, that
getting
cashier
those frozen peas.
Was getting those peas, and that cashier is just like unprompted takes a picture. And it's just like, sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
It's like, he's like, yeah,
it's okay.
Actually, it wasn't okay, but yeah, I love that. I was like, actually, that wasn't okay, but he'll let you off the hook this time.
Yeah, and there's that's a little sweet scene after that in the parking lot or whatever, where they're
I love
talking. That song comes in, Shallow. So,
I mean, and I got kind of emotional with that first scene where she goes out on stage to perform that. I was just like, it's just so good. Like the whole way that whole thing is shot and how he like, it's kind of like a whirlwind of events that like he like invites her there, and it's like the whole purpose is to get her to sing the song because he really believes in her and believes in the message. And oh man, yeah, that's just like I love that. That was so great.
And then she's putting out this bullshit. She's putting out this bullshit music. My favorite part of that song, though, is the "Why Did You Do That" song. I just love how the beat is the weakest ass production ever. It's like doom 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 doom.
Oh yeah,
it's like, and it feels so empty the whole song. It's like, man, they're really going in on how bad this is. Like at least with modern music, you got even if you don't like the music, there's usually some great production to it. This thing's some weak ass like xylophone, just like doom, 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 doom.
Yeah,
what did you do?
Yeah, for sure. It's just yeah, but that whole scene, I got choked up during that because I thought that was so beautiful. I was like, man, this movie's going places, but I know there's got to be some twists and turns in here somewhere because it is what it is at this point. We've already set up that he's in kind of a rough patch in his career, so
like I don't know anything about the other iterations of it. Like this is all I know of it, but even if this is like an original concept, I don't know if it works. I don't know if there's any other way to end the movie that works. Like would it, if it was just a wholesome relationship,
I don't think so
would it have been good enough?
Yeah,
I don't know, because I think the tragedy of it just reframes everything.
I think you have to make it a tragedy because I think that's just sort of it. It's just kind of how the story works, right? I think it wouldn't really work as just like a rags to riches success story. Like I think the whole weight of the tragedy behind everything is sort of what makes the story work.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, just to even not only put yourself in his shoes, but then put yourself in her shoes after that, and it's like
Yeah.
you don't even see
Uh,
the half of it. You just see the performance side of it, and
right.
even that's tragic. So
Right. And you see her like you see some of like the grief that
yeah,
she's
just
going through a
the
little bit.
initial stuff.
Um, yeah. I also really like the ultimate like kind of resolution of him and his brother there also as well.
Hmm.
I was like, that's such a it's such Sam Elliott has such a like a an understated performance in this, even though he's swearing at him. Like just like that, just like lingering on him after he leaves, and just like lingering on him as he's backing up out of the driveway. I was just like, oh,
Yeah,
like that was almost getting me too. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so powerful, like that moment where,
yeah.
but yeah,
So
I think because I think all three of them were not. I think all three of them were nominated at the Oscars
they were, yeah.
for that. Yeah, so
So it's got a bunch of, yeah. It was also nominated for Best Picture and maybe a
mm,
couple other things.
mhm,
So didn't win anything. It was nominated, but
yeah,
yeah. So I mean, we've both been speaking very highly of it. I say the pacing is my
yeah,
biggest issue with it overall. But is there anything else
yeah.
that's keeping you
It,
from going to a higher score?
yeah, I mean, I think I like that it does have this sort of timeless classic appeal. I feel like I said, I feel like some of the drama might be a little
Mm.
it borderlines to melodrama at times, where it's especially like the Grammys performance did not have to be that over the top. It was just like too much,
There's a
too
little bit
much.
of cliche
And
to some of it,
yeah, yeah,
like, and it's just going for these slices. That's like with how the movie is put
right,
together. It's not always the most cohesive story. It's just like, here's this slice where they have this performance. We cut to this
yeah,
time a few days later, they're doing this, and here's this moment in the bathtub. Here's this over here, and it's just like little
right,
snapshots of the relationship. I guess is really the idea, but in terms of an
yeah.
overall narrative, I guess it's not as strong.
I I almost kind of wish that they're like there's like they allude to it a little bit here and there, but um I kind of wish that there had been more of a concerted effort to show like that maybe he had been trying to quit drinking or to like ease up on it, and there are like some times where they like sort of go into it, but there's never like a definitive statement like, oh yeah, I'll don't worry, I'll stop, or
Yeah,
like I'll ease up on it or anything like that, because like in a lot of relationships where alcohol is a problem, that is like a continual like a consistent like promise that's always made. But like alcoholism is like a legitimate like disease. It is a problem. It's a disease, an addiction,
yeah.
and like um, like I think there's allusions to it, and I think that's to like that idea, that concept. Um, maybe I don't know. I do feel like yeah. I think sort of where you're saying that like it is just sort of like snapshots that maybe it wouldn't have worked better if they
Yeah,
made that more explicit, but um because I think they make it work with what's presented, but
but I think what's
um
what's beautiful about it is that it's a lot of relatable elements to it, even when it's like
mm,
you're ultimately watching two stars in this world that are like become celebrities. That's not a relatable story in itself, but there's so much
right,
relatability in terms of just relationships, arguments. If you have problems with alcohol, or anyone you know had problems with
mm,
alcohol, with
mm,
grief, with loss, with these concepts of suicide and all these different things that are woven into it, that I think
hmm,
that there's a lot that people can glean from it, and
yeah.
why it's impactful.
I think that is sort of the broad appeal. I think yeah, I don't know. It's one of those interesting things where it's like the relatability of like of like the superstar is something that I think that's something that's become, especially with the rise of social media, has become more and more patently obvious as we see a lot more of their mistakes and their
Yeah,
fumbles and their cringe. I look to 2020's Imagine as a prime example of that, of the cringe of the
hmm,
celebrity. Um, but yeah, I think that especially when this movie came out, there was still like I think there was still. I don't know. I think it's still present to this day too. But there is this, there's this weird sense of like that they're bigger and better than us in a lot of ways. Like, because they're making all this money and they've got all this fame and the stardom, but like at the end of the day, they are still like people, and
Yeah.
they are still like having all the same problems that we have. And yeah, no, I'm trying to think if there's any other like specific things that are like holding the movie back, but like I feel like 8 is I feel like that's about right for me too. I feel like I don't know if it would necessarily go past that, but
Because like when I think of how emotional I was from it, and I could see that being
right,
higher for that reason. But yeah, I think overall that's where I settle is an 8.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't
yeah, I
know. I'm
think
curious because I didn't watch this movie before I was in a relationship. I don't know if that's what
mhm,
like attracts me to it the most, or what makes it so impactful. Just thinking of everything in those like
mhm,
very personal terms. But yeah, I'm curious, like, because I was always sort of a hopeless romantic before being in a relationship. But I don't know,
mhm.
because I would get like emotional in some movies when it had to do with love, but I don't know if it would have hit the same. So I'm curious, different perspectives on it. But yeah,
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
but for me,
Um,
it literally might be the most I've ever reacted to anything
yeah,
emotionally, like from a movie. So it's big.
maybe it is a little too over the top in the maybe it is just that Grammy scene. I don't know. I mean, the pacing too, but that
Yeah.
Grammy scene is just like it's like it's too much. It's too much. You can ease up on that a little bit. He would have been tackled. He would have been tackled off stage. I don't care if
Well,
it was his,
if
his
if it's her husband, maybe not.
yeah. Well, I feel like maybe when he was like falling asleep on stage doing the tribute, I feel like they probably would have been like, "Hey, man."
What would they have done? I don't think they could have done anything. Like imagine it was actual Grammys.
No, no, no. They wouldn't be able to actually like keep him off stage, but they probably would have been like, maybe you
You
should
need to
like
get some help.
yeah, or like or
But
maybe
he
you
did
need to
kind
like
of. Wasn't it after that? Is that when that's when he did start going to? Or was that later? For
no, it was after the Grammys is when he started getting help. But I went more like during that, like when he comes off stage.
mhm.
From that's when somebody should have been like, all right, man, like maybe we should go backstage and sit down.
I don't
But
know. Yeah,
but
again, I
no,
don't.
they just let him go. They just let him go. He's just like, I
But
couldn't find
again,
a
we hear
bathroom nowhere.
so many different issues with like these celebrities, and it's like I don't know. Would they handle it that maturely, or are they just like,
I
yeah,
don't know.
it's
Maybe. Yeah, I
you
don't
do
know.
you.
I don't know. I don't know.
It might just be that culture. Yeah.
Maybe Ezra Miller terrorizing his way across the United States in 2022 or whatever it was.
hmm Yeah, they kind
Anyway,
of just do their own thing, and they're like they know that
yeah,
there's
sometimes.
some of these people they know they have these issues, and
Hmm.
they're just left to their own devices. So,
Mhm.
all right, final score: 3, 2, 1, flip. 8.
8.
Tarqaron score of 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good movie. I really. Um.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to talk about it.
So
For
yeah,
sure.
and the music was good.
Yeah.
And
What are you
I think
doing?
another thing maybe too is that maybe some of the camera work that wasn't during performances was maybe not my favorite. Maybe that was a little bit of it too.
hmm
Some of it was just a little dry in terms of how some of that was presented. But
I remember after watching it the first time, I had particularly noted that I wasn't a huge fan of the editing in some parts.
mm,
It didn't stand out as much to me this time.
hmm
But that was something that I felt like it was weirdly edited at some points, but nothing
yeah,
major. Again, you know, we were critical of things, but there's a lot that we love about it. I mean, if you come in with an
yeah,
8 out of 10, that's a great score. It's just a great score.
yeah. It's good. It was a good movie. I really liked it.
So it's like that's a rarefied air that they get into the nines, and
Mm-hmm.
9.5, 8.5, you know?
Right.
So, there it is. Thanks for
There it
watching.
is.
Subscribe to the channel for more movie reviews, game reviews, TV, Survivor every week, discussions, podcasts, everything you can imagine. Anything you can imagine. Imagine something.
Wow.
Just
Are we
imagine
Willy
something.
Wonka now? Is that what we're doing now?
Imagine something. Turtles? We probably did a video on turtles. I don't think we did.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think you did.
Is there
I like turtles.
is something we've left off? Dang.
We haven't done anything with turtles.
Well, if you enjoyed this video, random Tarqaron
Random
video for you
rules.
to check out. Survivor the Amazon, episode 12 reaction. In the driver's seat. That's,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's an old school one right there. That's
right
where,
there, yeah.
Do you remember that episode or no?
Yes. I feel like I know that I recognize the phrasing. I feel like that's when Rob feels like he's in the driver's seat of
No.
the game.
It's
Basically,
where Christy was the swing vote on the Amazon, where Christy is the swing vote, and she can't make up her mind to Rob, and so he's he goes over to Jenna and is like, okay, let's just vote her out.
Yeah, vote her out. Yeah, because she just won't make up her mind.
Mm-hmm. And if she famously, if she had made up her mind ahead of time, I think Jenna might have been voted out there. I can't remember if that was. That might have been the episode where Jenna gave Heidi the immunity, and Jenna might have been voted out there if Christy had assured him earlier, and that's a huge butterfly effect right there. Anyway, Survivor,
Boom.
you know, if you like
Survivor, there it is. We talk about it a lot on this channel, so
every week, yeah.
Yeah.
But plenty of movie reviews. We've still been cranking them out. Like every month, there's at least one movie review. You know, especially now with our monthly movie Monday night
madness.
Monthly movie madness.
Monthly movie madness.
Doesn't really work because there's not really anything that crazy about it.
Madness.
Where does the madness come from?
I don't know what's so mad about it. I don't know.
It's very controlled.
It's very controlled.
One person decides.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for watching. Take care.